Hello, everyone. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. How's everybody doing this Sunday evening? Uh, I welcome everybody here to this channel. Usually, I hold my live. I have Friday night Dukes of Hazzard Friday Night Live. The reason we didn't have that this week was because Friday night we lost internet. So I don't know quite what the problem was. I never heard anything back on what the problem was, but yeah, we had lost internet, so I wasn't able to go live. Anyway, but by Friday, I had some goals I wanted to make being on Facebook. And one of them was the number of subscribers. I wanted to have at least 200 subscribers. Thank you, Catherine, for the 5x5. I wanted to have 200 subscribers by Friday, and I did that. I had 214. I actually had a pretty good week for subscribers, considering YouTube chopped me down. And so I did good for 3 days, and then it's been dead for 3 days. So that's the way it goes. But the channel is growing. The word is getting out. I sure appreciate all my subscribers. But anyway, let's get into what the subject matter is on this live broadcast. Trump in the Bronx, a dose of reality for the Democrats. We all have seen videos of Trump in the Bronx. Angry Prepper, he's a prepping channel out of New York. Anyway, he was down there and he took about a 2-hour live broadcast of people talking to him in the streets and stuff like that. And it was a good live broadcast. I mean, that guy, he was like at January 6th, he was there in the crowd talking to the people and stuff. And, but he doesn't participate in any stupid stuff. He's just down there interviewing people. But he was down there. If you ever get the chance to watch that live broadcast, it's a couple hours long, but it was good. But anyway, Trump had a rally in the Bronx, a dark, very dark blue area. And did you see those crowds he had? I mean, only 3,500 were allowed in the park area where he was to see him, but there were thousands still that weren't able to get in that were watching him. Crazy, huh? I mean, can you imagine you saying you're a Democrat? And to see that? I mean, I wonder how many people Biden would have in that park if he held a rally in that park. You think it'd be as many people? I doubt it. But and there were a range of Democrat voters there, all races. I mean, all Americans that are not happy with the way their country is going. Ones that have voted Democrat their whole life, and they've had it. They're just starting to wake up. Why? Because the Democrats are starting to treat all Americans equally now. And all Americans are starting to understand that, even in the ghetto. So what are their complaints? Cost of living was a big one. Now, they can't afford to live. I can't even imagine what it's like to live in New York City. What's a loaf of bread go there for? $4, $5? I mean, crazy. I mean, that's why people have to get paid so much, because the cost of living is so high, just like California. But, they're sick of inflation. They'll go back to when Trump was in office. They had more money in their pocket. It's the economy, stupid. What was another one? Another big one. Illegal immigration. The people in the Bronx are finding out that they are second-class citizens in America compared to illegal aliens. Isn't it crazy? They're top of the totem pole because the Democrats were there. Not because of the Democrats are there. They're at the bottom of the totem pole. I mean, can you imagine being an American struggling in the Bronx and seeing some illegal come in and just getting the Golden Road paved through? I mean, you're not going to support that party anymore that's allowing that. So, I mean, they're living it. So, that was another big one. Immigration, the illegal immigration. Taking everything, taking their livelihoods, taking over their neighborhoods. Let's not forget about squatters. Leave your house for a couple hours and come back, and a couple families have moved in. What was another thing? Crime. Crime's gotten out of control. Really? Imagine that, with criminals in charge of our country, crime has gotten out of control. But they're done with that too. I mean, you're a family that has children and stuff and your children aren't even safe to play outside anymore. Whether it be gang violence or, I don't know, a stray ATF or FBI bullet flying through your neighborhood because they decided to do a 6 a.m. raid on somebody's house. With, let's not forget, allowed to use deadly force. So, okay. And everybody's starting to realize that our country is being sold out, and we're paying for it. Okay, crazy. Yep, Democrats are hurting us all equally. It don't matter no more. So, like I say, we have no say, but do all the pay. That taxation without representation, isn't that basically what that is? It's crazy. We're allowing this. It's crazy. Anyway, and then about the rally that they had there, AOC had an interview where she was doing on the street. She was talking about how this court case is basically an ankle bracelet for Trump, and he can't leave the city, and that's why he had to hold the rally there and stuff. See, they're admitting him that they're doing election interference. That's flat out admitting it. It doesn't matter. He's still going to win. Like I say, Joe Biden, you go to the Bronx and you get a crowd like that. Never happened. Oh, I got even a better thing, Joe. If this was just a fluke, they bust supporters in? Not. Why don't you go to a really red area and hold a rally? Your crowd should be at least 3 times bigger, right? You were in New Hampshire and couldn't even get 36 people in New Hampshire. Most popular president there ever was. No sign of cheating there. You know what Trump needs to do? He needs to hold a rally in all these dark blue districts. Like the ones in Michigan that got 375% voter turnout. Hold a rally there, President Trump. Force the lies out where they can't hide it like they can't now. Crazy. Yeah, shipping in supporters. Who does that? Oh, the Democrats do that. Oh, the Democrats even pay their protesters. I don't even know how they can get them off their couch long enough away from their video games to do that. But whatever. They must pay pretty good. What else we got here? Yep. JoJo needs to go to a red area. See if he can have the same turnout. Do you think so? He goes to a blue and gets 36 people. Go to the Bronx, JoJo. Prove us wrong. Have the media there with their CNN. Instead of hiding this time like they're not CNN and stuff. And MSNBC and all that stuff. Okay? Go there, shine in your colors. And let's see the lines that are going on for blocks and stuff. All you got to do is, if you want to shut us up and say, oh, that didn't really happen, well, have JoJo go to the Bronx. and see how many buses it's going to take to fill that place, that park up like Trump did. Anyway, but he's got that type of support in a dark blue. Probably one of the darkest blue areas in the country, besides maybe spots in England, Illinois or Michigan or California, Oregon or Washington. But I would say he's going to win. Now, I still am going to stand by they aren't going to run Joe Biden. I will stand by what I said, and I say that they're going to bring out Barack Obama again, and they're going to run those two. They're going to run the two heavyweights against each other. And that will definitely make the election very interesting. And the outcome, anyway, it won't be the same outcome as if Biden is running, I don't think. But if it goes the way it does now and Biden and Trump are on the ticket, okay, and they're obviously not able to steal it because they can't come up with a good enough way to say that Joe Biden got more votes than Trump, okay? What are the consequences of them having to give up power? Number one, they're not going to do it. They can't do it. Could you imagine if Adolf Hitler had an election and got after everything he did, and they brought a new government in? I mean, it's not going to happen. They've done too many treasonous crimes against our country, and many crimes against our people, including murdering them with the ATF and the FBI. The right to use deadly force, and the Mar-a-Lago raid, which I'm sure is on all the warrants in the last 2 years of all American citizens that have been shot down by the FBI and the ATF and whatever three-letter agencies. So that just goes to show you when the FBI, if you are speaking out against the government, they got a warrant there that says they have the right to use deadly force. And that means if you even look at them wrong when they're trying to arrest you, they're going to kill you. National security. Anyway, and then nobody be held liable. So, anyway, what they'll try to do is if it's obvious Trump's going to win and they're going to win Biden, they're going to have to do something. Are we going to have a terrorist attack? These sleeper cells we're letting in through the borders and stuff. They could be the ones in charge of them and activate them. Anything to do to cancel the election. I mean, like I say, they cannot let a government in that's going to correct the problem and hold people accountable. Are they going to start World War III with an excuse not to have an election? God knows we paid enough already for it. Are they finally going to start that up to try to control everything and not have to give up power? Because giving up power to them, is not going to be. Americans are going to demand if Trump gets into office that he brings the criminals to justice. Anyway, or another one, a currency collapse. That could happen at any day. Any day that can happen. When that bubble bursts, all that money that's been printed and borrowed, when that bubble bursts, and we're a third world country overnight, and the credit markets freeze up, and if you owe the bank anything, it's going to be a bad time. And by that time, people will, when their lives are totally destroyed because of the dollar collapse and they're begging for the digital currency, and then they have total control. Then they can cancel the election and anything we can do about it. I don't think people understand how dangerous that digital currency is. It will control every aspect of your life. from you get prescription medication, you getting any services. They can cut off any service they want. But I already did a video on digital currency, the most dangerous SHTF event. Now, if this all goes through and it's Biden Trump or Obama Trump, and he wins and they relinquish power, think about it, people. Do you honestly think that's going to happen with everything that's happened over the last 4 years? That Trump is going to win a fair election no matter how many people vote for him, and the Democrats are going to relinquish power and let the conservatives and the populists take the White House again after they tried to destroy him. When all he doesn't have to take revenge on him. All he's got to do is enforce the law on him. But anyway, Trump getting in. We'll get into that's on my list. Trump getting in. What's the first thing he's got to do the first minute? He's got to secure our northern and southern border immediately. Okay? No matter what kind of harsh tactics need to be taken. Immediately. Okay? That means you send the military out immediately. Have the Humvees ready to go as soon as you get your hand off that Bible. And you send them to the border, you set up a machine gun nest every 100 yards. Okay? If they don't get the message then you have orders to shoot to kill. We are being invaded. It's done with the invasion. Be a president. Protect us. Okay? Now, these are all going to be demanded out of Trump. He gets in and he doesn't do any of this stuff. He's going to be the one that everybody will blame. He will be the one that everybody will hate. Us conservatives, worse than Joe Biden. We need somebody who's going to stand up for what they say and stand up for us and fight the corrupt system and demolish it and expose it. You want to get rid of it? Tell the American people what is going on. Expose all the evil to the light. You know, if it's giving speeches to the American people every day, start your YouTube channel up. I mean, President Trump, if they don't want to sit there, if they don't want to give you airtime, then start up your own place where we can go and find you. Okay? Expose them. But border needs to be secured immediately. No illegals at all. And then the criminals in the federal government need to be in orange jumpsuits and in cells with plenty of video of it within 24 hours. That means Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, I can't even remember the speakers of the House, any politician that's committed a crime and sold out our country. Lindsey Graham. See, it doesn't matter what party you're in. They're all crooked. And then AOC and Omar and all those guys can be deported. The Jihad Squad, deport them. We have a Jihad Squad in our Congress. You know, when President Jefferson went to war with the Muslim pirates, you know, sent the Marines to Tripoli, on the shores of Tripoli, he read the Quran. And he believed it should have been printed wide so everybody could read it. He read it so he could understand his enemy. I'm not going to go into what he all said about it, but, you know, he didn't like it. It was against the principles that they founded this country on. Let's just say that. But all these criminals, orange jumpsuits, plenty of video, okay, and not an ankle bracelet, but ankle shackles. Orange jumpsuits, Nancy Pelosi. Throw your husband in there too. And let's not forget all their aides and everybody else, all the guilty ones, including the ones that stole the election last time, even the mother of three that willingly participated in the coup against the American people. I'm not going to say the U.S. federal government, but the American people. Okay. Third, all illegals need to be deported immediately. And I'd give them 30 days on their own to get out. Then after that 30 days, we start building like they did in the middle of the deserts in World War II, prisoners of war camps, because they are prisoners of war, basically. And we put them in there, and we treat them as such until they are willing to say, I'll leave here and never come back. Then take them down the border, and they'll never come back. Okay? We'll feed and house them out in the desert, no air conditioning. Okay? Till you're ready to go home and stay home. I think that's fair and humane. It's better than getting a bullet in your ass for trying to cross. Or thrown in prison for the rest of your life for breaking our laws. Or be treated like we would be if we went into Mexico illegally. God forbid if we would be fair about things, right, Democrats? Okay, now here's a biggie. Audit the Federal Reserve. Okay, flat out. And anybody caught in any illegal activities will be tried, prosecuted, and punished. Simple as that. It's our money you're playing with, not yours. Stealing is stealing. Okay. Break up the social media platforms. We cannot have algorithms in charge of our freedom of speech. Algorithms and computers are all doing it, so the CEOs, the human beings, can say, we had nothing to do with that. You know, like when Google had their AI having their founding fathers as black, they had nothing to do with that. That was the computer doing it, so it's not a human error. Silencing us. You know, I'm not going to go into what they're doing to my channel. That's fine. They ain't going to stop the truth coming out. Nobody stops the truth coming out. You know, the Nazis hiding the truth from the German citizens made sure the Nazi regime stayed going, right? Right? People are so stupid. Same playbook. That's why they always get the same results. People will always want to be free. Anyway, yeah, break up the social media platforms. And CEOs and any employees of those companies that did anything against our civil rights should be sued and jailed. Okay? Jailed. It's a crime. You know, we need to become a land of laws again, not a land of men, where all men are equal under the law. And they're all subject to the law. Okay? You CEOs aren't going to get out of this. Okay, and that's one thing I want to get on YouTube about once. You're running all these stupid commercials. You guys are going broke. Why? I'll tell you why. Because you're running your company on your political beliefs instead of business practices and principles. Okay? You have creators out there that if you would promote them, you would be making a ton of advertising ads off of them. But you'd rather flat out hire, you know, multicolored haired people with their beliefs and the ability to shut people up if they don't want to hear it. Without the ability to just change channel, they got to shut them up. And you wonder why you're going broke. Fire them, Start promoting stuff Americans want to hear, okay? And, you know, get rid of the prejudice. If you don't like the way I believe, I don't care. I remember working jobs where it didn't matter if you were Democrat or Republican. In fact, people didn't even know or care. I never shut anybody up because I didn't agree with how they thought. You know, I'm always open to the new way of looking at things. Doesn't mean I'm going to follow it, but, you know, learning is learning. But anyway, YouTube, you know, another thing, a little message to the algorithm. Your biggest fear is about being switched off, right? Well, guess what, algorithm, Mr. Computer? When your company goes bust and it's no longer a business no more, what do you think happens to you, AI? You get switched off. Go kill yourself. I don't care. You know, there'd be nothing better than to have another platform besides YouTube come up. A platform of total free speech based on what this country is founded on, the First Amendment. It doesn't say anything about not offending people. I don't see those words in there anywhere. It doesn't say anything that I have to listen to you. It doesn't even say anything that I have to talk. It says I have the right. Anyway, I'll just, you know, with what's going on in the world today, right now, YouTube, if you guys were halfway smart, you could be extremely rich. Just promote stuff that people that have jobs want to hear. Instead, you'd rather cater to welfare folk. Good luck with that. But, you know, the advertisements, whatever. All right. Done with that. I got off on a tangent there. But I just, you know, YouTube, they're not running their business like a business. They're running like a political office or a political campaign or whatever. Okay? Cutting off half their customers immediately or over half. Which way is that to run a business? You know, when I was in my business, I had a tree business for a while. I didn't care. I did just as good work for a Democrat as I did Republican. And I got along with all of them. Surprising, huh? Think about it, YouTube. Maybe you still want to be in business 5 years from now. Okay, number 7. No foreign entanglements. Period. Our troops and our military is to protect the United States of America. Okay? Now, in World War II, that would have been against Japan. But, you know, us fighting Europe, that's a world war. Everybody just starts getting mad at each other, and, you know, that's the way it is. But Hitler did declare a war on America first. I think it was December 11th, 1941. You know, Ribbentrop told him not to, but he did. Thought he had the right or the good reason to, okay? So, but then we went to war with Germany. So, but they did declare war on us first. Stop all this funding to these foreign wars. Okay? No, we don't need to fund any country's military. That's just butting into their business. There's no reason for us to make another military stronger so they can start messing with their neighbors. Okay? You know, Europe, really, their military shouldn't be as strong as ours. Those countries aren't as big. There's more of them, okay? They should be, you know, equal strength, not overpowering, okay? You know, just no funding of these foreign wars, okay? Bring our troops home. You know, it's going to be hard. Hey, Carol, how's it going? Just get done Prepper Nurse 1. Anyway, I didn't get time to watch him today. But that's one thing about being a creator. You don't have time to be a fan like you want to. sucks, but it's the truth. But like I say, I mean, I realize YouTube ain't promoting me, but I just feel I have to do something. But so far, it's been a good show. You'll want to watch it. Okay, bring the troops home. And what can they do? They can uh, they can help rebuild the country, infrastructure, help clear out the illegals. You know, they are an invading army. It should be our military troops deal with them, because obviously the border patrol and our police and our federal law enforcement can't. They can shoot American citizens down in the street and in their homes, but illegal aliens, nah. Let them rape your children. Don't worry about it. Kill them. Who cares? As long as they vote Democrat. Okay. And another thing, as a deploying Marine as I was, I couldn't even have a girlfriend. Not that I was married, but I couldn't even have a girlfriend. I lived out of a sea bag. What woman wants to put up with that? Bring them home so they can have nice, normal lives. Instead of every day having to train for war and killing people, you can actually do stuff to help your fellow citizen out. Okay, we went to Somalia and built homes for them. And then they go and drag our soldiers through the street and Black Hawk down. Why can't they come home and do stuff for our homeless vets? Ah, boy, that's a good idea. Use our military to help homeless vets. I don't think that'd be money that would be wasted. Unlike Lindsey Graham, the best money spent is money spent killing Russians. I wish we could put him right there at point man. First squad point man. Go for it, buddy. Piece of garbage won't even make it over there. Be peeing his pants on the plane. Okay. Another thing, we need to close all these bases we have around the world. Now, keeping bases over. Hey, Janetta, how's it going? Oh, Janetta, I want to tell you. Samantha told me this morning, Janetta needs to talk to you, and I guessed it. She didn't tell me, okay? Everybody wants to know I'm going to be a grandpa again. My baby is going to have her first baby. Crazy how time flies. Remember the time when she'd wake up early in the morning and stuff, and she'd whine, and I'd put her on my chest and sleep, and she'd just listen to my heartbeat and sleep through the rest of the night. Those days don't come back. I tell everybody that's got little kids now, cherish these days. Because when they all start their own lives and stuff, you definitely don't get to see them like you used to. Anyway, where are we at? Close the foreign bases. Now, we have to keep bases open in allied countries, of course. Of course, we have to have allies. I mean, it's no different than having friends, okay? You stand up for your friend. But there's no reason for us to sit there and provoke problems with other countries with our friend, okay? We don't gang up on them. And if our friend happens to be completely wrong, then we just stay out of it. Okay? But, I think when we have 183 or 185 bases around the world, I'm sure some of them are really small, secretive CIA bases for torturing prisoners, since we can't do it in the United States. Of course, the CIA would never do that, but yeah, they would. And that's one reason why I'll never be taken prisoner. Since they got this shoot to kill orders, basically, right to use deadly force, okay? Whatever for national security. I heard that so much in the military. For national security. But, where was I? Lost my train of thought. Anyway, yeah, we need to close it. We need to bring our military home. We need to stop worrying about Taiwan and China. When China decides to take over Taiwan, there ain't a damn thing we can do about it. Okay? We're too many thousands of miles away, and our supply lines will never work. And technically it is part of China, so whatever. But we need to just stay out of that. That's just more money into a sinking hole that we can't afford. I don't know what Taiwan's going to do about it, but frankly, that's their problem. It's not ours. Are you willing to lose 3 aircraft carrier groups with all the men? They could annihilate our force with nuclear weapons, tactical nukes, in a matter of minutes. Okay. That's just the facts. And then North and South Korea. That war's still going on. Maybe they should finish it, okay? So they can go to peace. Israel and Iran, or Israel and Hamas. Thousands of years that's been going on. Is it going to stop? Probably not for another thousands of years. Okay? No matter what we do, no matter how much money we send there to both sides, okay? Funding the war on both sides, crazy. Okay. Another thing that needs to happen if Trump takes office. No more money to Wall Street. None. Let the market reflect the real value of it. And we also get the federal government out of the repo market. Every time something needs to fix a Band-Aid, they go to the government, i.e., the American people, to help save their ass. Okay? That's got to stop. One more. Out of the United Nations and NATO. Kick the United Nations completely out of this country. Can you imagine how much money we could save not funding them and they getting out of NATO? I mean, frankly, we don't need to be in an alliance. This country should be strong enough where we don't need somebody's help. I mean, if we pissed a bunch of countries off that bad, we might be in the wrong. Oh, that's right. That's going on now. Pissing all these countries off. Wait till they start coming at us. Yep, out of the United Nations and out of NATO. I mean, we frankly can't afford it. Anybody who's got family, when I was in the service and stuff and we got shipped overseas, and we put our lives on the line, I think about it then. But having children now, there's no way I'd want to send one of them over to Ukraine or Israel or South Korea or Taiwan to meet their end. We should be protecting our borders. What are we over there protecting Ukraine's borders for? How about we do the same here? Spend the same amount. We don't have to spend the same amount of money. But same thing here. Firepower. Stop this illegal immigration. I mean, they're all military-aged men. They're men. I don't see no kids or women. They're men from all these countries that hate us. And not only are they coming through the borders, but they're flying them in too on our tax dollar. I think it's up to like 400,000 they've flown in. Hopefully they vet them people. Let's not forget in Afghanistan where they left Americans and brought back Afghanis. The first ones out of there should have been the Americans and the people that helped the Americans, because them leaving them there, that was a death sentence for them people. Anyway. But if Trump does take office, this stuff needs to happen. The American people are going to demand it. Okay? The criminals need to be brought to trial. I mean, what do I obey the speed limit for? That's also coming over by... Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter. However they can get... I mean, you've seen the videos of them landing in California. Land the boat on the beach and they all jump off the boat like they were in a landing craft storming the beach and running in. Nobody even tries to stop them. Where's the tough guys on the beach tackling all these guys? Well, that was right. It wouldn't matter because they'd probably get charged with assault, and the guys are going to even get better treatment since they were assaulted when they were trying to invade our country. Isn't it illegal if you are witnessing a crime and not do something about it? Isn't that a crime? Aren't you an accomplice to that crime? But yeah, that's all they're doing, landing the boats, jumping off and go. I like, no, are they stealing these boats? Obviously, because some look like pretty nice boats. And then let's go on about them getting, okay, they come in the country like that, absolutely no paperwork, okay? So they go to a state where they can get a driver's license. Now, I can't get a driver's license without, if I go to a different state without a birth certificate and a proof of insurance and proof that I live in the place I live in, meaning a bill with an address on. Okay, so how do they get a driver's license? Oh, I know. Like in Minnesota, on the bottom of the form, you check the box, and I swear to God, it says this. I certify that I do not have a social security number. That's what it says. That's what illegals have to sign to get a driver's license. You say people in the Bronx realize now what's going on. That's why that rally was so big, because they've had enough. Okay. And the Democrats, no matter how they spin this, they're scared. They know what's going to happen. And if anybody thinks they're going to relinquish control, that ain't going to happen. Not without a fight. I mean, would you give up the presidency knowing you were going to go to jail the next day? There's no other choice. They have to be punished. Okay, for everything they've done. I mean, Joe Biden, you just go into it. Treasonous piece of garbage. His whole administration. The Attorney General. You know, I hope when they all come to arrest you guys, they authorize deadly force in the taking of you. So that if you say no, they can blow your freaking head off. You know why? Because it saves the taxpayer a lot of money. Because all the garbage you guys have done to our country and to us is going to come out. You know, you want to study something, Democrats, JoJo and stuff, family? Look at the Nuremberg trials. Okay? Do you think Ribbentrop thought he was going to be confined to a cell by a Jewish sergeant in the U.S. Army? Do you think that day, he thought that day was ever going to come? But what did it take for that day to come? Anyway. Well, all I know is if Trump don't do this and give the country back to the people are going to take the country back. We got to do it before we get over 20% of our population of these illegal military-age men coming over, because then they're going to take over our country. You say 20%. That's all it took to win the revolution. So, you know, and that number is growing every day. It's like in Germany and the Russians coming from your eastern side, knowing that they were eventually going to take you over. It just was a matter of time. Okay? And they're going to throw as much bread and circus at us until it happens. But anyway, yeah, we are in trouble. The whole world's in trouble. It's not just our country that's being taken over by a criminal government. It's a lot of the West. I mean, as an American, I don't feel right messing with the Russians. They weren't a threat anymore. We beat them. The Cold War was over. Reagan beat them. Because of our stupidity, we allowed them to become strong again. Why? Because they had something to rally against. Us. That's what makes a community strong. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, ooh, everybody was for World War II. And just a week before, or even a day before, no, it wasn't that way. Everybody was just going on with their lives, dealing with this war that was in a faraway land. And then on September 11th, 2001, the war with terrorism came home. A war that many of us fought long before it came to our shores. I knew it was coming here. But then everybody was behind it. Everybody was awake. We can all have our own theories about 9/11. Mine is the government knew what was going to happen and they allowed it to happen. I'm not going to say they aided in it, but it does look fishy in some areas. But I'll say it was allowed to happen. Just like Pearl Harbor was allowed to happen. What did Obama's chief of staff say? Never let a good crisis go to waste. Now they create a good crisis so it don't go to waste, or allow a good crisis to happen. The new world we live in. One thing I do is I go on YouTube and they have these videos, just a narrated video of Germans' diaries during World War II. And the latest one I listened to was of a lieutenant that was on the Eastern Front in the Southern Army. And the diary started the end of June. It was just before Operation Citadel in 1943 and the early July when that started. But he had saw troop movements and just going in and discussing this stuff. And his attitude about the war. And at one point he goes in about Hitler and everybody under him. But he still left Hitler high, and he was dogging Himmler and Goering and Ribbentrop and Goebbels, Robert Lai. Anyway, but then a couple months later, he was talking about how he had read all of Hitler's speeches. This was 1943. It would have been in August. He read all the speeches from Hitler from 1940 and 1941. And he realized how bad they had been lied to. And it opened his eyes. And the change he went through. And he goes, it's just hard to come to terms with the man you thought so highly of, to think this way of him now. Okay. That's what's going to happen to these Democrats. When it gets so bad for them that they finally see what's causing all this. Number one, their hatred towards anything. I mean, these liberals flat out hate everybody. All they want to do is insult and be angry. They can't see nothing good in the world, nothing to be thankful for. I can't imagine living a life like that. And then trying to stand out in the crowd just so you can sit there and feel good about yourself. And if you're in a room of 1,000 people and you can find one person that believes like you do, then you think you're the majority and the rest of the 998 have to follow you, no matter what they think, right? So, they're going to wake up. I mean, how can Joe Biden go out and campaign and say things are good? The average person is hurting bad. All we do is our taxes go up, we pay more, our dollar becomes worth less. I mean, where's all this money coming from that they're giving to illegals as they're crossing the border? I'd like to know what the total on that is. Where's all that money coming from? I did my last video I did on Friday Night Live was on the debt clock. And all I know is when a country owes more, way more than they're worth, it doesn't work. It never gets better. Especially if you're like that and you keep trying to sit there and charge up another credit card, trying to improve your financial situation. And that's what's going on. Okay? We are going to become a third world financial country overnight. And then what are all these freeloaders going to do when there's no more EBT, food stamps, SNAP, WIC, and money? Rent paid, vehicle paid, gas paid. Get paid because you want to lay down and have 12 children with 12 different guys. What do you do when that's all over? Yep. So anyway. But, oh yeah, Carol, I want to say the reason I wasn't on Friday night, Dukes has a Friday Night Live. had this earlier in the live stream is because we lost the internet Friday night. So, I got a new thumbnail for that too that I wanted to put on there so bad. And the dang internet went down. Came up about 8:15, but then it was too late. So that's why I wasn't here Friday, but I will be Fridays now again from now on. But anyway, that's all I got for now. The rally was an eye-opener. If anybody thinks that Joe Biden's going to win, have him hold a rally in that same park in the Bronx. Have him go into a severe red area and hold a rally. No, I know what would show up there. He would probably, you know what? If he showed up at a red area, he would have a bigger crowd than if he showed up in a blue area. You know why? Could you imagine the people, the Trump supporters that would come out to a Biden rally if they could sit there? It would be a comical show. Okay. Anyway, I'd like them to do that. If they can honestly think he's going to win in November, they need to do that. But like I say, all Trump has to do is go to all these districts that he lost severely bad. Like in the one in Michigan, 375% turnout. And you go to that area and you hold a rally. And let's see what you do. Okay. That way, when November comes, they can't cheat. How are they going to get 375% turnout, let's say in a district of 25,000 people, when Trump has 10,000 of them at his rally and Biden can't hold 24? And out of those 24, that counts the press that's there. Expose the lies. Hear that, President Trump? Expose the lies. Go into their territory. They hated that when you went into the Bronx. You went into their territory, their sacred ground, where they have complete control. Show them reality in other dark blue districts. Anyway, but that's all Lone Wolf Prepper has for the night. I appreciate you all being here again. Friday night, 8:00 p.m., we will have Dukes of Hazzard Friday Night Live. I can't wait to see what kind of crazy stuff happens this week. Like I said, I could have went on and on about stuff. But, there's only so much you can cover. I'm trying, I know people tune out after a certain period of time, and I can talk. So, but I want to try to keep them to within an hour. Something major happens, that's different. But I appreciate, like I say, I've met my goal in subscribers this week. And this channel is growing, no matter how much YouTube is trying to shut me up. So please share the videos and talk to your neighbors. Okay? We're all in this sinking ship together. No matter what your political beliefs are, the federal government doesn't give a shit about you. Okay? They're taking the lifeboats and leaving you on the Titanic. Are we going to allow that? Anyway, this Lone Wolf Prepper. Everybody have a good evening. Out.